Hi, I'm Mas, and I took a career break to go traveling for 3 months around Latin America. It's all a bit of a blur at this point, but I said I'd give a roundup of each stop, so we're doing this. After we left Oaxaca City, we were off to Puerto Escondido and spent 3 nights there before heading to Mazunte. The amount of time it takes to get from one place to the next never fails to amaze me.
3 hours later.
In England, I'd be halfway across the country in that amount of time. That said, traveling on public transport was a little intimidating at first, since there are no direct routes, no set times, and it's easy to get ripped off as tourists. Other than that though, it was a breeze. Anywho, you know the deal, beach vibes. So it's the sacred 5 S's: sunsets, suntans, seafood, slow living, and for the first time in my life, surfing. Side note, after about a week on the coast, I'm seriously considering moving here. Just have to convince my husband first. Back to it, I'm trying to keep this vid shorter, so rather than give you a play-by-play, I'm going to give you a comparison of Puerto and Mazunte. Surfing, food, accommodation, and overall vibe. Okay, surfing first. In Puerto, we did 1 lesson with Lucy's surf school for 1,000 pesos, after which I was hooked. So we did a 3-day course in Mazunte with Sadaka Surf School. Both were cool, but I did prefer the latter. We each had our own surf coach, the beach was practically empty all the time, and the price was a lot more reasonable at 1,650 pesos. We also learned from one of the surf instructors about the beef between the Mazunte and the Puerto surf dudes. I feel so plugged in. Gang wars. Now, onto the food. I have to be honest, I thought I'd struggle a lot more with food options since Mexican cuisine is heavy on the pork, but actually it's been quite straightforward to find pescatarian or veggie options. What I wasn't prepared for, however, was how much nuts are part of the cuisine, but so far I've managed to avoid them, but don't worry, I've also got my EpiPen. Let me know if you want a breakdown of food recommendations for both places. I have so many, but again, in the interest of keeping this video short, I'm just going to tell you my favorite at each. In Puerto, it was definitely Nativo, and in Mazunte, Primo Costa. Now listen, people are going to tell you about the ladies selling street food on the basketball court in Mazunte. Not my cup of tea, but it is very cheap, and obviously if you want to support local businesses, then do go there. Okay, now calm. In Puerto, our accommodation was beautiful, and from what I could tell, most of the available accom was to a fairly high standard and obviously set up for tourists. Mazunte, however, was more challenging. We stayed in 3 different places. One was an emergency change because we just didn't feel comfortable in the first place we booked, despite its amazing views. Luckily, the second place was much more our vibe and a lot closer to the beach, and we didn't have to hike up to get to it. The final place was okay, a little difficulty with the toilet situation, and the customer service was quite lax, but we can't really complain, as it was a last minute find because we decided to extend our stay by 1 night. Basically, if you're going to Mazunte, be prepared for less than ideal accommodation conditions. Finally, overall vibe. I've heard people say Puerto is like old school Ibiza, and I kind of see what they mean, but also I wasn't at old school Ibiza, but it definitely has that party island vibe about it. Lots of tourists, and I'll let you be the judge of whether that's a good or a bad thing. Personally, while I thought it was a lot of fun, I really liked that Mazunte was a lot smaller and less touristy, although not completely clear of tourists, obviously. Okay, that's all for now. We're off to Valladolid next, so see you there.